dance space FM. Dance space FM.
Today on the show we have Lindy Vopnfjord
hey.
from Iceland. How are you, Lindy?
Oh, fantastic. I can't even believe it. Where are we?
What's new, Lindy?
Oh, you know, I'm just playing around, making up songs all the time. Can't stop me.
Could you make up one for us today, maybe?
Let me see. Well, I was up all night at an after-hours bar, so maybe I could write one about that. Whoops, I made a mistake. I gotta start again.
Okay.
The new album's called Frozen in Time, and it was just released at the end last year. I got a bunch of songs that are like, you know, politically motivated and socially conscious, and I've got some love songs on there too, and the reviews are really great. I couldn't be happier.
My work is for the downtrodden children of this nation, from the poorest of the poor to the black market generation.
You and me have known each other for a long time. Remember we toured Europe together?
I remember. I remember it was like during the spring or fall, it was like really cold and wet everywhere we went. And there was no difference in temperature between outside and inside any of the places where we played. So we kept our jackets on the whole time. We could never get warm.
And I remember my favorite part is we go in these little pubs where the ceiling was like really low and you didn't fit anywhere.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, back there was this place that we played. I can't remember where, but it was built in like 1500s or something like this, and the ceiling was like, you know, way taller than people were back then. But for me, I had to tilt my head the whole time I'm singing like this.
Speaking of us traveling,
Yes.
I'm on my way to Iceland.
Oh, fantastic!
And being an Icelandic gentleman, maybe you could give me some tips. Where do we start? What do I do? What should I do? What shouldn't I do?
Well, the reason that Iceland is so popular is because of the things that tourists do there, and I recommend that you do those things, like the Ring Road and all the touristy things. Those things are well worthwhile. Whoa. Well, here we are in Reykjavik, Iceland. Let's check everything out.
This is all too familiar. Running out in the middle.
We're on our way to a volcano today.
Four directions to the way out of here. And it's easy, so easy to remember. Falling on the 5th of November was the last time I saw your pretty blue eyes.
Let me hook you into the elevator on the way down.
Okay, this is pretty cool.
You see the red coating in the corner.
Hotel Borg.
This is all too familiar. Running out in the middle of winter, looking out for directions to the way out of here. And it's easy, so easy to remember. Falling on the 5th of November was the last time I saw your pretty blue eyes. The less you think you know, the more you look to see. Everything just fades into a simple memory. Even though you're sure, you try to find the door. Less is more.
You're just going to have a great time. There are certain things that I would attempt, you know, but cautiously. One of them is called haukat, and it's a rotten shark. So rotten shark. Yeah, it's like fermented shark. So what they do is they bury a shark in the sand for about 10 weeks, and then they dig it up.
For how long?
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
Until it starts to ferment. And then they chop it up into little cubes or like cucumber slices.
Yeah.
And they put it in a container that's like totally hermetically sealed. And then you open it, and then the entire room smells like rotten garbage within seconds. And you know, depending on who's there, you know, people might leave, and other people may come in.
Yeah, okay.
And you have some of this, and it doesn't taste nearly as bad as it smells. It actually tastes quite good. And then you chase it with a shot of Brennivin, which is an Icelandic schnapps. And I highly recommend that.
Okay, you've done it?
Oh yeah, many times.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, how could?
He survived. Quite spilled.
Fucking terrible. There you go, Lindy. It's great to be in Iceland.
There's also a whale museum, and which is amazing. But I highly recommend that you go see the penis museum.
The penis museum.
Well, I mean, they have some.
They have a penis museum.
All kinds of
What is
varieties
wrong with
of,
you people in
penises.
Iceland?
It's just we just try to show people that we care.
It's got to be around here somewhere.
Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me. Oh, I'm glad I'm not an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I never want to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, there would soon be nothing left to me. Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me.
I love that.
Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me.
Hi, Danny. How's it going?
My name is Johannes. Like as I said earlier, you can call me Your Highness if you want. That's the easiest way to pronounce it.
Okay. Well, we had a great tour of the city from you today, and I thought there were so many interesting things you told me about Iceland, and I find it to be such an interesting country. You have no military, is that correct?
Yeah, no military. Member of NATO, but the only member of NATO that does not have a military. We had to get a special deal because we did not want to have a military. We really pride ourselves on being neutral and free of an army.
I was surprised that, you know, you said around the parliament that there's no security and I heard that your police force has like 4 guns and they're like locked in a box and they have to get a code to get them out. Or
Yeah, for the police cars themselves, there are 4 cars in Reykjavik that have the black box in the trunk where you have to call the person who has the code to get to the gun. I don't know if there are 1 or 2 guns in each box.
And if an officer needs to use that gun, he has to phone and get a code to use it. So so a few people have to make the decision for that weapon to get used.
And like I said, the police, a normal police officer, has never used a gun in Iceland.
People have told me too that you can just drive up to the president's house and knock on the door, and he'll probably take a selfie with you. The first lady came to a concert I played the other night.
Yeah, Elisa.
And just just got in line at the bar behind us, and was just that wouldn't happen in another country.
Yeah, well, it's pretty hard to, because you often know these people before they go into power. It's pretty hard for everyone just to act suddenly like they're different human beings, otherworldly human beings. For example, today I saw 2 members of parliament just walking by. One of them looked really hungover. The other person just pretty much looked like a member of parliament.
And it's just such a peaceful place, and you know, you're instead you're building monuments. The John Lennon monument is. Can you tell me about that? Because I know just a bit about it.
So that was Yoko Ono. She made that a few years ago. There's a monument. It's in one of the islands here. It's just a basically a big flashlight. That's basically what it is. And they turn it on during the darkness, during the dark month. But
so if the sun is up all the time right now, and in the rest of the year it's dark.
Yeah.
So they run the John Lennon.
They run the John Lennon. They during the darkest months, during December and around Christmas time, they will have their light on. It symbolizes peace and because we are one of the most peaceful countries in the world. We've been a few years in a row been the most peaceful country in the world. Some that is since, because we don't have an army, is also our low crime rate, and generally just the peaceful nature of people here. Because, everyone here is rather peaceful, except on Friday and Saturday evenings. all the days pretty peaceful.
And what's the education system like to go to university? What would something like that cost?
So that depends if you want to go to a private university or a public one. And we have a few private ones, but there you would be paying $1,000 to $3,000 a semester. But if you want to go to the public one, which most people go to, that is roughly $700 or $750 a year in registration fee. But the rest of it is free.
$750
US
a year.
A year in registration fee.
I love this place.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and another thing I wanted to ask was I was so lucky I got to go on a helicopter ride the other day, and I learned hot water's being pumped in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in Canada, we have cold water. It goes into my house into a big hot water heater in the basement. Yeah. No one has a hot water heater.
No.
You turn the tap, it's hot water.
You turn the tap and it keeps going. You won't finish the hot water here. You can just keep it on.
And it's just coming out from all the volcanic action underneath.
Yes. And well, it comes from all. So the water, it goes down to the volcanically active areas. It's deep in the ground, and that heats it up, and then it's either pumped there or just goes up on its own volition. And I think only 88% of Icelandic homes are heated by the geothermal water. The rest would be hydraulic.
Right.
But for example,
but 88%.
88%. Don't quote me on that, but that's the one
roughly.
That's roughly. But because some of the houses in the far away from hot springs will have to be heated by electricity, but that would also be renewable.
But in Reykjavik, all the houses are geothermal.
All the houses geothermal.
Wow, geothermal, $750 for university, 4 guns, no military.
No military.
I want to live here.
You want to live here.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
In the after-hours bar, everyone's a local TV star, practicing pickup lines, domestic beer and foreign wines. In the time just before the dawn, Undertaker makeup still completely on, cameras off, closed circuit on, black swan hanging on a wall. We spell out to the sun, that's how we know our night is done, and we make our way back home with someone new or all alone.
not here to kill the time in the age of innocence. It's not a crime to speak your mind across party lines if you got something to say. Black caffeine and eggs and toast, skin to skin and ghost to ghost, just what I could use the most before I sleep it off again. We spilled out to the dark, that's how we know to make our mark. And we wind our way from home with someone new or all alone. And I'm so days and days the darkness grows like pouring into borrowed clothes. After a week we finally know to throw them all away. Short and sweet.